Hello and welcome to another BizzyWebinar. This is Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb with Kevin Broadbent, our online marketing specialist at BizzyWeb. He's going to be presenting to us today on SEO and website analytics, what you need to know. Hey Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thanks.
Thank you. As we do each week, we're going to go through a few brief things on the agenda, and then I'm going to turn things right over to Kevin because he's who we're here to hear. We'll talk a little bit about BizzyWeb, of course, and then we're going to dive right into SEO and website analytics. As we do each week, would encourage you to please take a peek at the embedded webinar. If you're here and you're watching from that area, you can actually ask us questions so long as you have your Google account logged in. And you can submit those at any time during the event, and we will take questions as we go. So I would encourage you to check that out. We do have a number of folks. I believe we have 20 people registered for today, Kevin, so just giving everybody a chance to join up and log in. But it's going to be a great event. We'll talk through the top 4 areas of focus: SEO common mistakes, suggested tools, and then a summary. And we'll mention right up front that this is a preview, sort of, to a bigger event that we're planning on September 18th. We're actually doing an in-depth report or an in-depth seminar that's going to be in person at the BizzyWeb headquarters about Google Analytics. This is going to be how to set up your reporting, how to set up everything you need to do, and keep everything just dialed in for yourself so that you know exactly how you're doing it and what you're doing. We're enlisting the help of Ben Tice of Skoll Marketing. Ben is a former Google employee and has been with us on a few things. And Kevin's going to be with us as well. What we're going to do during that event is show you how to use Google Analytics on an in-depth scale, as well as helping you set up Google Analytics and reports. It's $75 a person for this event. We're going to cap it at 15 people just so that we can give you one-on-one attention. But again, remember that that's coming up on September 18th, and so you'll be seeing messages from us on that. As we do each week, I'll go through a couple of brief things. What we do at BizzyWeb is that we're an online marketing company. What that splits into is basically web design and social media. We do all kinds of online marketing for our clients now with our new Buzz Builders program. You may have noticed that this is now branded the BizzyWebinar series, and that's because Buzz Builders has been subsumed by one of the things that Kevin is managing for us. So Kevin's got us on Buzz Builders. He handles all of the online marketing, analytics, a bunch of the email marketing tools and tricks that we do, and SEO and other related tools and tricks. So you're looking at the guy who's in command of Buzz Builders, and so that's one of the reasons that we're so excited to have you with us, Kevin, and thank you again.
Thank you.
One of the big things that we do as part of our online marketing is set up people on social media, and so here's examples of how all of this stuff works. In BizzyWeb's world, we set up LinkedIn, Facebook, Google+, and Twitter accounts, as well as Pinterest and other related tools. So if you're interested in having some help with any of that, again, you can get a hold of us, and you can join us online at bizzyweb.com/bb, or if you're having trouble, you can dial us in at the number on your screen. Without further ado, I'd like to hand things over to Kevin. Actually, I'll give one more brief note before I do. I'm going to switch to the web browser on my screen sharing for a moment and remind everybody how to get to this crazy thing. So if you're watching online, we've already got you covered, and thanks. You can submit those questions to us at any moment. But if you scroll down to the bottom at bizzyweb.com and click on the article, you'll see that there's an embedded video right at the top of this article for today's event. If you click on YouTube, you can actually join this live, and I'm kind of afraid to see what it would even do, so I'm not going to do it right now. But once you do, you'll notice that there's an on-air button on the event, and when you click that on-air button, so long as you have a Google account that you can log in with, you will see the ability to ask questions. And that's where it's going to give you the most benefit if you can ask those questions and join us in the conversation. Kevin will take your questions throughout the event, and we're going to use the Q&A tool on Hangouts to help facilitate that. So please do log those questions on the Q&A tool. Without further ado, Kevin, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. What my focus is going to be on today is really trying to focus on the top 4 areas for SEO and how you running your small business can make that optimized without, we understand you guys are running your businesses, and time is important, and SEO, there's a lot of information out there about SEO. We're trying to help demystify some of that and keep it simple but yet effective. SEO doesn't need to be complicated for small businesses, and you can improve your visibility in search engines and get visitors to your website by focusing on 4 primary things. So next slide, Dave. So the top 4 that we're going to zoom in on today are keyword selection. Number 2 is creating good content. Number 3, on-site optimization. And then number 4, which is probably the most challenging of these 4, but still important in the whole equation of search engines and search engine optimization, is link building. So the first one is keyword selection. So what is keyword selection? What is the goal of keyword selection? We really want to have a concentrated, focused set of terms for your target audience. So Google is the big machine, and we want to make sure that we are creating keywords and terms that are what people are searching for on Google. Bing, Yahoo, they are important as well, but a lot of the stuff that you do to optimize within Google propagate to those other search engines. So really, from our perspective, everything is important in terms of the other search providers, but what we like to do is focus on maximizing our optimization within Google and building from there. One of the other pieces here is keywords in your URL. We want to make your content user-friendly. So that starts with the keyword in your URL. Sometimes if you have a website, they default to a page that isn't user-friendly. You might have a question mark and say page 123. You can customize, and we leverage WordPress as our platform. You can customize the structure of your URL to make it user-friendly based on the content that you're putting in there. Google likes to see this. We want to make sure that it is being found, and making sure that your keyword is built into your URL structure is an important component of the overall SEO equation. One of the challenges I think people, they're trying to optimize their websites, small business owners, they focus on too much. They want to do, they read up on what they're supposed to do for SEO, and they overdo it. So, really we want to keep SEO and keyword selection on a simple level. It's about having targeted, focused content that your target audience is going to find useful and helpful. What's in it for them? They're looking for help for a problem, or they need a solution to a problem that they're working with or challenged with. I see a lot of people that look at the mechanical elements of keywords, and they do what we call keyword stuffing. So it's really taking, they realize that their target word is XYZ, and they know they need to put it everywhere within their website, and Google, of course, does not like to see that. They recognize that as an issue, and they want to see natural, relevant keywords that flow well, that also have a good, a good mix in terms of usability for users that are on your website, and what Google, as a search engine, likes to see in terms of the structure and the mechanics of those keywords. We generally like to see a maximum of 4 to 6 keywords on the page. It doesn't have to be that many. Targeted pages are very important to Google and search relevancy. So we like to focus on 2, 4, or maybe even 6 keywords. But really, you don't want to overdo it. Like I said, you want to focus on making a page that has natural keywords based on your business niche, on your market that you're trying to optimize for. So when people are out there looking in your space, they can find you quickly and easily, and it's very readable. So one of the things that we highly recommend is leveraging the Google Keyword Planning tool. It's a free tool. It's something that really can validate what keywords are relevant. So sometimes you might think you know what people are looking for on your website. However, what Google and Bing and Yahoo and these other search engines actually reveal in terms of the metrics, could be different. So sometimes it's semantics, it's subtle nuances, maybe leaving an S off of a word. Other times it is a, it can be just, you know your industry, you know your terminology, and sometimes, even in my world as an SEO specialist, as an online marketing guy, we get caught up in our jargon, and it's different in terms of what people are searching for on the search engines for your products and solutions. So the keyword tool can really help you analyze that and give you, the true behind-the-scenes information on what people are searching for in terms of the phrases and the keywords that are relevant for online searches. So once again, we want keywords that people in your marketplace, prospects, existing customers are looking for. Google Keyword Tool is a great tool to help you leverage that, and it can support what maybe your hypothesis might be when it comes to your industry terms. They might not always be what customers are looking for. So leverage that tool, and it can really be a helpful way to focus your attention in terms of what keywords do I need. You can support that by having your keywords validated within Google Keyword Planning Tool, and even just going to google.com and typing in your keywords, it'll show you the search volume that is out there in terms of available web pages and content. You don't want something that's got just a few search returns. You want something that is got substantial volume, but you don't also want something that's got 50 million searches as well, because that's too broad. So once again, leverage that tool. Keyword selection is something that's important for your website. You can use Google Keyword Planning Tool to support what keywords you think should be on your website in terms of your market niche. Next slide, please.
And I'll just layer one thing in as we move forward here. I would love to hear as many questions as possible from folks that are logged in. So again, to underscore this, if you go to google.com/plusbusyweb, you can see from our homepage that on this screen there's a little button that says, do you want to increase your rankings? That's the event for today. And you'll notice that up in the upper corner there's a Q&A and a live button. If you click on this, it's actually going to take you into that event, and you'll be able to watch this live. Now, I'm going to need to mute this immediately because otherwise you're going to hear me talking about myself. But this is how you enter in questions. So if you click that Q&A inside of here, you need to be logged in to Google Analytics or to the Q&A tool. But as we look at that, that's going to be really important for folks to remember, because we'd love to see you and have you on our event today. So we have the Q&A live. We'd love to have you with us. Again, that's where we're at. So I'm going to skip over again, and we're going to go back to Kevin with the next slide. Thank you.
Okay. So the next element of SEO, of the four main things we're focusing on today, is creating good content. We want, as I mentioned, we want targeted content, and the key here is really the focus on find the balance between user-friendly, readable content and what the search engines are looking for. I see people get hung up on trying to, like I said, focus on all the mechanics, making sure that everything is in the right place with your keywords, and then it becomes unreadable. And people go to your site because they're looking for solutions to their problems, they're looking for product information, and it has to be user-friendly. It also has to balance the we'll call it the mechanical elements, the components that search engines are looking for. So Google, Bing, Yahoo, they are looking for structure with your HTML code, and we aren't going to go deep on that stuff today, but making sure that when Google reads your page, when Google comes and crawls your website, they can find the relevant information for your niche, your products, your services, etc., and then they put it into the algorithm and they size it up with everybody else in your competitive space. They want to make sure that that is easily findable, but it also has to be user-friendly and readable to the users. So that creates readable content, of course, for users, makes increases the likelihood of your pages or your content being shared virally through social media, etc., through backlinks. But you also want to consider what search engines are looking for, making sure your content has the right tagging behind it, and making sure that it is structured correctly behind the scenes in terms of how the page is built. And a lot of times what I find is you get hung up on building that page the right way so it's optimized for search. If you just read the content out loud, that actually makes a lot of sense when you come back and just look at it from a, as a user, instead of being all mechanical and technical. That it helps just to read it out loud. And if it makes sense and sounds okay to you, then it's usually a good page. Once again, balancing the content readability with what search engines really want. And quality over quantity is very important. Google would rather see that you have a quality website. So some people always say, well, how many pages, they ask, how many pages do I need on my website? What is the focus? Do I need 50 pages, 100 pages? It really comes down to that quality. If you have a very defined, specialized niche in your space, and it's valuable information that's unique. Unique is very important on top of quality. If everybody has the same general information, it's less valuable. But if you have your own, generated content that has high quality value, and it's people are going to find that, and people are going to recognize that that's something that is valuable, and Google will pick up on that as you get more, link building, backlinks to that information. Relevance is important as well. Google does not want to see you talking about, abstract things that aren't really on focus or on target for your specific area of emphasis for your business. Emphasize the benefits, making sure that it all kind of relates back to your general theme of your website and your online presence. The keywords should all kind of work together, so they create a general theme about what you're promoting and what you're selling and what your services are. And as far as a typical page goes, we like to see, the search engines like to see, I should say, 300 to 500 words, 2 to 3 paragraphs minimum. If you go less than that, it's okay, but typically it's considered, your content is thin, as we describe it, in terms of how it gets sized up with other websites that are out there, your competitors. We want to make sure that you have substance and the right mix of words and paragraphs, so that Google, Bing, the other search engines are able to discern what your information is about and where the keywords stand out within those paragraphs. And we like to always front load the first 30 characters with keywords. That's just a general statement, but Google doesn't always scan all of your content. It depends on your page rank and a number of other more complicated factors. But generally speaking, it's going to look at the first 30 characters within the first paragraph on the page. It also looks at your title and things like that are HTML behind the scenes focused. But really make sure that you front load the first couple sentences of your first paragraph and in secondary paragraphs as well, so that you have keywords positioned well within your content and it's easily readable and findable by the search engines. Next slide, please. And so link building. This is, I put the definition in there just so people have a reference, but it's the process of acquiring hyperlinks from other websites to your own. Generally speaking, if you have high quality websites that are linking to you, they have your they like an article that you have, so they're linking to that page or that that URL on your website. The more likely you are to rank well in search engines. So you want high quality, high page rank in terms of Google. Users or websites coming to your site, finding your content and sharing your content, meaning linking it to their site and saying, hey, I found a valuable article on this website. I thought you guys might like that, and they share it in their blog or on their website, and that element of having a link from a high quality website, that helps your overall mix in terms of how Google is looking at your website and how you rank in the overall search engine optimization organic rankings. Quality content equals more shares which equals more links and equals better SEO value. So I know that's a mouthful, but if you have good content that's unique and targeted, and we have more, typically you will receive more shares, and that gives you better link juice, which is industry term that we use, and that equals better overall value. So, I think you see the theme. There's quality, there's targeted content, uniqueness, relevancy to your focused area of expertise or your niche in the marketplace. Those things are important, and Google recognizes that. All the search engines look for that on your website and within your content on your pages. So quality usually equates to more shares and gives you better overall value in your organic search engine rankings. And then, a lot of you are probably already doing this, but social share buttons. Make sure that those are showing up on individual pieces of content on your website. A lot of times I see them for customers on the home page, but it doesn't always. I've seen instances where it doesn't always show within the within the inner pages, the secondary, tertiary pages. It doesn't always show up within there. So a lot of times we just put that in the global footer or header on our customers' websites, and it's always there. But make sure it's easy to share. If somebody finds something and they like it, and they don't see a share button, yes, they can copy the URL, but people are so programmed today to share stuff virally with a Facebook link or Twitter or Pinterest button there. They like to have that easily available, and you don't want them to leave the page and say I'll come back later. You want them to be able to click, share it, and be done, and then that becomes part of your viral content that we want to spread the word about your business and spread the word about what you're offering in terms of your content and your services and your products. Next slide, please. So one of the we see a lot of mistakes that are made. People, search engine optimization has a lot of elements to it, and I see people doing a lot of things wrong. And these are what I would call the top 5 most common mistakes that I run into when we're working with people, and just in general that I see on the web. Number 1 is not making your site crawlable. So what does that mean? It's one of those things where people you need to go to your website and make sure that your site is accessible. Make sure that the links work. Click around and make sure you can find the good stuff, meaning you have good content out there. You've spent a lot of time and energy and resources to build good content on your website. A lot of people don't always connect the dots and make sure that there are proper inbound or with links within your site. Make sure that you can click within your site and navigate effectively, and it's all accessible, because there are page errors where pages just have broken links and all kinds of things, and it's almost like just doing an ongoing audit of your site just to make sure that ongoing maintenance of your site to make sure that things are findable and there. Number 2, I see people not including the right words on the page, and what do I mean by that? What will people actually type to find this information in the search engines? For example, if you think about the Empire State Building, would you put in Empire State Building height, or would you put in how high is Empire State Building? So it's a subtle difference there, but most people aren't going to do Empire State Building height. They're just going to ask a general conversational question: how high is Empire State Building? And you need to understand that so you can build your pages around those types of questions when people are searching on Google. That's how they're going to be looking for you. So make sure that you have Empire State Building, how high, talk about those types of terms, and so when they look for that, you're going to show up higher in the organic rankings, and that's important. So number 3 is lack of compelling content. Why do your customers or prospects want to use your website? People get focused on how can I build more links? Link building is important, but they get really caught up in how I can build more links to my site to get my site higher up in the rankings. what can I do to market my website to make it more known within my community or more broadly on the internet? That's really what the focus is. How can you make your site more marketable? Building links is important, but don't get caught up in that. Really, understand what do users want to use your website for, and build compelling content around that. Number 4, homepage title. Is it recognizable? When you search for your website, look at the snippet for your website. Is it clear? What do you expect it to say? Sometimes how your site is viewed when you go to Google and you can type in your website, it gives a summary, a little snippet of your page and your page title and the important things. And that's your storefront online. That's your brand. That's your image that you are trying to project online. Make sure that that is recognizable and the way you want it to be, presented to people online. Some people just assume it's always going to say the right thing. Just double check to make sure that your title and when you search for your website, it looks and presents the image and the brand that you want. And number 5, not using Webmaster resources. Explore, and we'll go into these in the next slide, but there are a lot of great resources available for small business owners, for any SEO expert or anybody trying to learn about SEO. Explore and leverage these resources. Google has tools, of course, and Bing has some nice tools, and these are free tools. And really, and this is where the analytics come in. Use those tools to validate and support maybe your hypotheses or your guesses about what you think people are searching for. When you sit there and say, well, this guy said I need to find keywords. What are the keywords? These tools can help add some clarity around those questions and really focus on the analytics. Help them, use them to help you hone your skills in terms of SEO optimization, making sure that the Webmaster tools are put to use. I just see a lot of people, kind of making educated guesses about what they think people are looking for because they know their industry and their niche. Validate that with the Webmaster tools that are available for free within online. Namely, like I said, Google, Bing. There are several others out there, but at a high level, those will help you get a lot further down the path and give you the confidence to really take it to the next step in terms of keywords and content optimization. Next slide, please. So this is just a screenshot as a suggested tool. As I mentioned, Google has a great Webmaster tool that you can use. And if you can read this, you can see that the dashboard is on the left side there. You can see the menu options. It gives you search traffic and Google Index. You see the crawl stats on your site. When is Google crawling, or when are the websites, the search engine websites, when are they crawling my site? This is this is relatively user friendly for a technical type of Webmaster component. It shouldn't be intimidating. There's a lot of user friendly stuff that Google has worked hard on to make it readable and usable for non-technical people. So take advantage of this as a way to see what people are searching for. Look at your sitemaps. Look at the crawl errors. The first thing under current status there is crawl errors. If this site has got all the green check marks that we want, but it'll tell you if there's any problems that you weren't aware of, and you can help mitigate those by looking at this information. Next slide, please. So Google Analytics. This is a great resource, another free resource that Google provides. You can see, you can check out your audience. You can look at all kinds of different. You can really drill down and get very technical in terms of your website. I recommend using Google Analytics at a very high level to really see where traffic is coming and going, and where are people engaging on your website. Are people, let's say, for example, you created a landing page and you're trying to drive traffic there. Is it working? This is where you can validate that and see how the traffic is flowing. There's some, like I said, at another session we can go a little deeper on the analytics component because there's a lot to be discovered within Google Analytics. But the point that I would want you to walk away with is that this is a great tool that can give you intelligence into your back-end website. Where are people coming? Where are they going? within your website, there's some really nice flow tools where you can see funnels of people that go to your homepage. Where do they branch out from there? Are they dropping off, or are they actually going to the pages you would hope they would go to, and taking the next step for a call to action? So those are Google Analytics is a very powerful tool that we leverage for understanding our website and our clients' websites and how to optimize those better. Webmaster Tools is another nice complementary tool as well. So take advantage of those. Also, Bing is another. They also have their analytics or webmaster tool as well. But to start out, I would use Google because they're the major player that we want to focus on here. Next slide. And then the AdWords tool. This is the keyword tool. David, I think, popped this up briefly, but this is a great way to, if you want to understand what people are searching for within keywords, if you're interested in doing a pay-per-click, a Google advertising campaign, you can run the numbers, and see estimated clicks, the impressions based on the costs and the daily budget and in a click bid that you put in there. It gives you some really good detailed information on what people are searching for and what kind of bang for your buck you can get in terms of clicks. Before you make any commitment to a pay-per-click campaign, this really gives you a targeted focus on driving that, driving traffic to your site and what people are going to be, available within your target keywords. Next slide. And then a great industry resource, and it's a very user-friendly for all levels of, if you want to learn about SEO, I recommend Moz.com. They have a great learning tool. You can see the screenshot I have here, the Beginner's Guide to SEO, social media link building. It really is, a nice resource. But the biggest benefit of Moz, I think, personally, is the community. They have great, newbies, small business owners, people that know a lot about SEO, and people that are there to learn. And it's not an intimidating community. It's a very active presence in terms of people that want to optimize their small business website, or industry experts that are trying to learn more and take it to the next level. So go to Moz.com, leverage their resources. It's a great site for education. And next slide. So in summary, SEO, the industry overall, is really dynamic and constantly changing. That's what I love about it, but it also can be intimidating. As you're running your business, we understand you have other things to focus on besides becoming an SEO expert, probably. So we're here to help, but the dynamic industry is definitely true in terms of what's changing. Google's constantly updating their algorithm, and there's lots of changes always in the industry overall. I would just say improving your SEO, it takes time, and search engine results don't change. They don't happen overnight. But if you have a plan, and you just have to be patient until Google comes back, or Bing comes back and crawls your site. If you do the right things, if you follow the some of the tips that we provided today, you will see benefits over time. And also try to be as descriptive as you can and keep your information up to date. Google likes to see activity on your website. They want to see that people are coming and going and finding relevant information and linking and so forth. But they want to see an active website. How active? That depends. But generally you should be updating your site with content weekly, if not more frequently. It just depends on your niche and what you're focused on. But keep your site fresh. And I mentioned this before. Don't obsess over SEO. It's important, but we realize as a small business owner, you're trying to do a lot of different things, wear many different hats. We're here to help kind of clarify some of those things so you don't have to be overwhelmed by it. But do what you can in terms of content optimization, and leverage the experts as needed to really do some of the heavy lifting. And then finally, just focus on providing that strong online user experience for your customers, and your business will benefit. If you continue to do the right things in building a good user experience for people that want to find information, that will help you, move up in the search engine optimization rankings. Next slide. All right, any questions?
And as we do that, Kevin, I'm going to first thank you for providing all the helpful content here. I've I've talked about SEO before, but it's never been quite this comprehensive and easy to understand. So thank you very much for doing that. And also wanted to loop in and just remind folks as we're doing questions that inside of the Google Q&A tool, what you may see if you're logged into this window is the showcase link. And so if you see this, the easiest way to get over is to click on this little button in the upper right corner. It looks like a 3x3 square. If you click on that, the Q&A button will pop up over here, and then you simply have to click the green Ask a New Question button, and you'll log your question in for folks. So I'm going to let folks go for just a few moments. We did have someone write in and ask about what the login or how to get to that Google keyword tool, and we already covered that. So I think we're good, but this is really your time, folks, to ask those questions, so please do log those. And I guess while we do that, let's switch screens over here to having just a brief closeout. So I'm going to give you a few moments just to ask those questions again. And if you don't have questions, that's awesome. And again, Kevin, you did a fantastic job, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But this is a big, crazy topic. SEO, and in particular how to measure all of that SEO, is a huge thing for all of our clients. So I really appreciate you coming on and talking about this. As I just wrap up in lieu of questions, as we look at this stuff, remember BizzyWeb can help you with this. We do web design that's designed for search engine optimization and to get you the leads that you need to grow your business. If you can't find what you need inside of the first 10 seconds on your website, it's time to talk to us about doing some level of enhancement to your website. In particular, you have to make sure that your website looks great on mobile devices, because mobile responsiveness has become the new keyword as we all carry supercomputers in our pockets. iPhones, Androids, Windows phones, they all allow you instant and always access to the information that you're looking for, but they also all refer back to a very small window on your web browsing world. So if the website that you're viewing doesn't immediately review, or if you have to click to zoom or tap around to get to the content that you need, or if a phone number isn't available immediately when you visit that website, there's a much higher likelihood that you're just getting missed online. So make sure that you're looking at your design. We also do the best dang web hosting out there. We actually have real live people that help monitor and maintain your website, in addition to blazing fast speeds, full online backups, and security and malware scanning to keep you out of trouble. So once you get in there and when you're ready to step up to a professional level hosting at a dang good price, we include that. Plus, all of our packages include at least 3 hours of real personal support with people right here in the US of A that are welcome to, or that are willing to help you out at any time. We also have, and I alluded to this, a new Buzz Builders offering. We did a full busy webinar about this a couple weeks ago, but the Buzz Builders online marketing tools are set up to let you succeed in online marketing. Whether you need to get more leads into your business, increase your search engine rankings, deepen relationships with your existing customers, or just market your products and services, BizzyWeb has programs that help you with all of those depending on what you need to do. So give us a call about that if you need it, and again, our contact information is available right at the bottom of the screen. We can help you with all of these things, of course. There's me, and you already know Kevin. Kevin's going to be helping you out with all the Buzz Builder stuff, and we help you out with everything else. And remember to join us every Wednesday. Next week, we're going to be talking about, oh, shoot, I'm blanking on it, but I'm going to open up my screen right now. You can browse this, and this is probably a good segue. You can see how to get to all of these things by going to BizzyWeb.com and clicking our event calendar. So if you go to the events calendar inside of here, you can browse and view. So we've got crafting effective calls to action next week, or the last week, and then we have measuring email success coming up next week, as well as another back to business, 60 ways to grow your list. This is a great workshop, and I've gone through it in detail. If you're wondering how to get more people to sign on to your email list, also works very, very well for helping you to grow your business and to get more leads into your business, period. Check out this seminar. It's free, and it's in person at BizzyWeb on the 28th, on Thursday the 28th. And so if you're interested in that, by all means, go into the BizzyWeb website, go to events, and then you can register right from that page. Just in close out, because I don't think we have any questions yet, make sure that you fill out your buzz report by going to BizzyWeb.com/buzz if you would like us to take a look at your online marketing and give you real suggestions from real experts on how all of this stuff needs to work for you and your business. We help folks all the time, and this is one of those free services that we offer because, frankly, we'd rather that you know what you're getting into before you engage with anyone else. And the hope, of course, is that you will work with us, but you'll walk away with a 12-page report on everything that you'll need to know about your online marketing, including how your website is looking, how well optimized that site is, along with keyword analysis that kind of ties into what Kevin was already talking about, and how your social media marketing is looking, along with real-world suggestions on how to get better results across the board. Again, I will keep it on. I know we have a few folks that are actually on the Hangout. For those folks, do hang out with us because we'll open up the mics in just a moment, but we're not going to record that part in case you have specific tech support or issues. Right underneath the BizzyWeb events from today, if you go back to the home page on the site, and if you're watching that video inside of the article, right underneath here is a link to the Google Hangout. So if you click on this button that says Google Hangout, I'll just highlight it right here, this Google Hangout link. If you click that, you can join us live and ask questions over video. This portion of the event is going to close out in just a moment because I am going to shut down the broadcast, and that's the part that's saved to YouTube. If you've missed anything, go back to BizzyWeb.com/BB and be sure to connect up with us there because we have 115 of these articles out there that, or these BizzyWebinars out there that are designed to help entertain and hopefully more importantly inform you on what you need. So again, go to BizzyWeb.com/BB for that. And we'll talk to you next time where we're going to cover how to analyze and get successful email marketing. So would love to join you then. And until then, I'm Dave Meyer, and we've got Kevin as well. So Kevin, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dave.
And we'll talk to you all soon. Again, I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb, reminding you that at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. See you next week.